guitar players and drummers, as the case may be, because this is Gregg Allen, the Guitar Jedi, as you can see behind me, with a hack that I've looked all over on YouTube and on the internet and couldn't find anything for, but I'll get to that in just a second. Get to the hack in just a second. I should really make notes for my videos because I'm so ADD, I go everywhere. So comment below if there's something you want me to talk about or if you want me to be more consistent about. It's been a while since I made a video. Reason being, I just haven't had anything to talk about. Been busy with the job and that kind of thing, but basically I haven't bought any new guitars or had any hacks. The last hack that I had was multi-track recording on a computer using USB sound cards, and that worked rather well. And I did find a fix for that high resonance pitch. You have to get a USB filter for that, which I still haven't gotten, but I'm going to get that pretty soon, and I'll show you how that works once I do that. But the hack I want to talk to you about today is I recently acquired, I'll show you right there, some electronic drums. These are Simmons drum pads, and they're older drum pads, say probably made in somewhere in the mid-80s, something like that. And I played a recording session with a friend of mine, and he said, hey, you know, how about if I just pay you in equipment? And I said, oh, that's fine. And he offered me these drums, and I snagged them up because I like to be able to record my own drum tracks for demos and that kind of thing. And I always used right here, if you can see that, this is the Yamaha, I believe the DD50, yes, the DD50. And it has some pretty decent tones. You know, you've got your tom-toms, you've got your hi-hat, crash, ride, and snare. Now, I'm no kind of drummer, I'm a guitar player, but you know, it's always good to be able to do your own drum tracks, that kind of thing. So, but I didn't have a drum interface for the Simmons pads. And I looked online. You could get a Alesis, oh, what's it called? The Alesis D4 for probably right around 100, 150 bucks, but you're really kind of shooting the dice at that point because you don't know how good it is, if it's been abused, if the battery's gonna die, that type of thing, because they're pretty old. So what I decided to do was I took this, because each one of these has a transducer, much like these drum pads here. So what I did was I cracked this open. Let's see if I can do this without messing everything up. And I traced each transducer back to the circuit board. Turns out, of course, the transducers use a hot and a ground, just like you would find in a 1/4-inch jack. So I installed these 1/4-inch jacks, soldered them to the circuit board where the transducers are mounted, and then used these to run to the Simmons pads, and much to my surprise, it worked really well. And I'm going to show you how that worked. So I'll get this back on here, hopefully it doesn't fall. Okay, I don't have it on there. Please stand by. Might have to do a jump cut here. That goes there. Really? Okay, this moved. There we go. And I'm using an old snare stand that's kind of... So let me show you how this hack worked. And once again, you just take the 1/4-inch jacks or inputs, if you will, the hot and ground wire to where each one of these transducers connects to the circuit board. Be very careful though, because the solder on the circuit board is so very small that you can actually melt that solder off, and you'd have to resolder them on, that type of thing. And they're really, the solder joints are really close together on the circuit board too. So what I did was, after I soldered it, I took a small flathead screwdriver and just went in between the connections to make sure that there was no bridging to ground it out. So without any further hesitation, let me go ahead and go to the side here and I'll show you what I did. Ran a snake from each one of these to the DD50, and here's what I got. It works really good. And then of course I used the regular triggers for the kick and the hi-hat closed. So if you'll excuse my back, this is what it sounds like. And again, I'm no drummer, I'm a guitar player, so this is what it sounds like. Around here, and as you can hear every once in a while, I got a miss trigger from the snare, but I think that's why the previous owner painted these circles on the drum heads so you know exactly where to hit where the transducer is. Okay, so that is my hack for you today. Basically hacking a DD50 for a drum interface for some old Simmons pads. So if you want a good cheap way to make a interface for some Simmons pads or any other kind of drum pads that you may come in contact with, you can go ahead and use the DD50 and just connect 1/4 inch inputs to the circuit board. It works really well. So for another video, this is the Guitar Jedi, Gregg Allen, saying have a great day everybody, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.